So thank you for your time.
Welcome.
And you know, you are the Feng Shui master.
No lah, practitioner.
Practitioner. So okay, so I mean, I always believe there are more things to share from a person. There are always stories to share, experience to learn from. For myself, I always like to listen to or watch documentaries about people, their life stories, about CEOs, entrepreneurs, you know, even day-to-day people talking about their life, how far they come to this point and what they have been to. There's always stories to share. So even day-to-day people. So today, maybe we can start with talking about, you know, before we move to the Chinese metaphysics, maybe you can share more with me and our audience, like, you know, who are you growing up and how did you come to being the Chinese, you know, in Chinese metaphysics, being a Feng Shui practitioner?
My childhood, I can say that until about 10 or 11 years old, it was pretty okay. Then probably about 10 or 11 years old, family went through some financial issues. So that's when I started working.
Okay.
So I've been working since about 11 years old, all the way to my army days. So during my army days, I saw that my dad was working very hard. He realized that I didn't have enough money to go for university after my NS. So what happened was that I saw him work very hard. He fell sick. Then I felt a sense of guilt. Then after that, I decided to sign on.
Okay. So you signed on the army?
Signed with the army.
Okay.
So I signed with the army, then went for my studies and stuff. But I still can remember a little bit about my Feng Shui. This is actually plays a part. So before I went to the army, my mom brought me to Thailand, Hap Chai. Then there was this temple. I saw a towel on the floor, on the staircase. So I think people might trip. So I tried to fix that towel or move it away. I remember the monk just told me to come over. So after I followed the monk, my mom all went over. After he told me that you will become a very good soldier. You'll work very hard, but no one will appreciate you. I'm like, huh? Okay lor. Then I totally forgot about it. Then when I was in my uni days, I chanced upon some Feng Shui stuff. So I read about it. I was like, quite nice. I started to learn a little bit for my university stuff, all this. Then studies was quite okay. I did quite alright. So I came back to Singapore and pursue my career with the army.
So where were you studying overseas?
I was in Australia.
Oh,
Melbourne.
okay.
Yeah, Monash University.
Okay.
Yeah, so after the studies came back, went for my career in the army. So I can say that I really worked very hard. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out very well.
Okay.
Because, as you know, that Singapore actually went to Afghanistan one time. So I was the one who set up the equipping center in Singapore.
Okay.
I helped equip all the soldiers who go overseas.
Okay.
Then I was also the one in between, also supporting soldiers, whatever they're overseas. I'll just so-called bring stuff to them. Those are in Afghanistan. But in between, of course, there was a break. I was in some other camp and stuff. So myself also deployed to Afghanistan. Yeah.
Okay.
But came back still, my career was nowhere in sight.
But what were you doing in Afghanistan?
Singapore will never ever take part in any war.
Okay.
So what we do is go for peacekeeping. My job there is training the trainers.
Okay.
So one of the best things I learned over there is that we need to travel overseas and look at how other people are living and realize actually how fortunate we are. So we see people there living off a salary of $100 a month. The age of people that normally pass away between 40s to 50s, they just die very young. Then sometimes you hear people going to some IEDs, they call it those bombs, and they die, things like that. And of course, the corruption was really, really bad over there.
Yeah. Okay.
So after I went there, I came back to Singapore, I appreciate life so much more.
Yes.
There was only a few people who actually went there and had really close so-called encounters where there was like physical gunfights. Other than that, the close encounters would be more on things like when we were living in a camp, when the siren rings, then there will be missiles or bombs coming in. So far, none of the Singaporeans got hurt. So far, because the way our government protect us is also we try to help and also protect our own soldiers.
Okay.
We actually live in more so-called less conflict areas.
Okay.
So it's off and on those terrorists or Taliban will just throw a few missiles in and things like that.
Okay. So you came back Singapore with really appreciating the peace that we have.
Yeah.
Right. I know. Right.
Yeah, and of course, in between when I was in the army, I was thinking, hey, how come my luck so bad? I did so much. Then went to see Fengshui here and there, read my palm, this and that, and then you got things like what? Someone put voodoo on you lah, your boss cursed you lah. I'm like, all those funny weird stuff. Then I decided, screw it, I'm going to learn myself.
Okay.
So that's where I started my journey somewhere, I can't remember, about 2000. Uni day started so really hardcore about 2008, 9. I started already. Yeah. Then the final reason why I turned to Feng Shui was because my son was diagnosed with a genetic issue. Then the medical bills was very high. And he also needed a lot of time to take care of him. Government side, in terms of their health care policy, they can't really help much. Not that they're not helping, but they really can't help much. So I decided to pursue this as a career. So in between, I was actually helping people, but I don't charge them. So, okay, how you do this, please go and do some donation, things like that. So then when the news broke out about my son's condition, that's why I decided to, okay, time to start on this career full time.
Okay.
So that was my story on how I actually, step into Feng Shui.
Okay. Do you think it's a destiny that only certain people will go into Feng Shui?
It's not a destiny. Feng Shui is a form of science.
Okay.
Some call it metaphysics.
Yes.
It's actually, everything is through formulas and also all calculated.
Yes.
So there's no such thing as like they pluck from the air, they calculate something, right? So actually what happened is that when we learn Feng Shui, right, we actually place the 12 zodiacs in our palm. So if you look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 of them here. So each area has a certain zodiac. Then, okay, we know that this is rat, this is horse. So what happens is they'll be saying, okay, which zodiac clash with which zodiac? So the magic number for clashing is 6. So from here, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These two will clash, so they go like that. And they clash. So what we do is this
count from the zodiac. So whatever zodiac you are, so you count 6.
Something like 6 will be the clashing zodiac.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, things like that. Also, when we learn, it's all about hand calculation. So it's like children learning abacus reading.
Yeah.
So when they do calculation, their hands will move. So when we do Feng Shui, when we calculate, our hands go like that. So when we do this, it's more on like a habit. Or to some people, it's showmanship. Like, wow, something very cool. But it's nothing.
Okay.
So, back to the part where I said that the monk said that you'll be a super soldier and not get rewarded. My mom reminded me somewhere, I can't remember mid of my career. And I'm like, oh, you're right. The monk was correct. So I was like, shocked. That's where I went hardcore into Feng Shui already.
Okay.
Went to learn. I went around and learned Singapore, China, all this. To find the correct teachers. I don't believe in learning from one person. Because each person will have their own unique skills and of course they have their blind side. So from there, I learn everywhere that I try to mix it in to have my own style.
How long did it took you?
I didn't really calculate the number of. I can say
a few years?
If I add in total about 2 to 3 years to learn bits and pieces here and there, all this. Then of course my own experiment, things like that.
At the same time, were you married already? You were married already? I
was married in 2012.
2012. Okay.
After I came back from Afghanistan.
Oh, okay, cool. So you already, so when you were there in overseas, you already had your girlfriend was already with you lah. So after you came back, then you got married.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you use Did you use feng shui to calculate whether she's the right partner?
No, I don't do that.
You don't?
I don't do that.
Why not?
Because I've seen cases where I have two friends I got a friend supposed to get married to a boyfriend of 7 years. The boyfriend went to see a feng shui master, then the feng shui master say, oh, you're supposed to marry a teacher. So this guy just ditched his coach straight away.
Oh.
Just like that.
Okay.
Then I'm like, that's not very right.
Okay.
Yeah, because what happened is, in terms of life reading and stuff, it doesn't mean you'll marry a teacher. It could be you'll be marrying someone who teaches people, things like that. So for that friend of mine, she's actually some sort of like a counselor trainer, counselor. She teaches people also, but that guy just took what the feng shui master said blindly and said, he must be a teacher.
How is that guy doing?
I'm not sure, but my friend is doing quite well. The husband now is very nice.
Okay. I have encountered a few years ago, while I was still married, quite a known feng shui master. So at that time, it was, I would say it was about 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I met him. So from his reading, from his reading of my 八字 and my then husband 八字, he asked me a couple of questions, and then it's actually it verified to be true. He didn't we didn't meet face to face when he did the calculation. He simply took my 八字, his 八字, sort of the things, and do a calculation. And he asked me a few questions, and then it was quite spot on. And it is something. The one of the question was such that I have already forgotten about it, but I managed to look back and say that, okay, this happened, and it's not something that anybody will know. It's just between me and my husband. So it's an incident that happened. So, and through this is wow, he's really quite accurate in that sense . So after that, I did met him up, like a casual chat, just to meet up. And at that time, he did, it's not like a hint, it's like a 明示了了, that this husband wasn't good. So it's hinted me at, I would take it as he hinted me at leaving him . For you, would you do that?
I normally don't do that, because what happened is whatever he says, right, subconsciously will be planted into your brain. Then it might become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
Because why I say that, I always tell my clients, we shouldn't focus on 八字 too much.
Yeah.
It's due to the reason that there are many, many people in the world with the same 八字.
Yes.
Why is there only one of you, one Lee Kuan Yew, one Mahathir, one whoever? Because there are many other things. For example, twins, triplets, quadruplets, their 八字 are all the same.
Yeah.
But why is their life not the same? Because there are other factors. For example, when you are born, your name, when you're born, your feng shui, all this plays a huge part. So I've also seen before, one of my ex-colleagues, one very famous feng shui master from Hong Kong, said that you will die at 43.
Okay.
You're still alive.
Okay.
Yeah. But what happened was that due to that reason, that he was told that he was supposed to die at that age, he did not get married. You think that, oh, my family will see me pass away early. Then now I look back, what the... Yeah, because all these 八字 stuff are all calculated. Why is it called 八字? Is because they use our birth year, birth month, birth day, and birth hour. So for each time frame, there's 2 characters. So total is 8 characters. So this is the formula how it started. So from this formula, it's a form of statistics where they deduce what's going to happen. So let's say if the thing's going to happen, someone told you it's going to happen, you just follow it, it will happen. But if you fight against it, you can. So I mean, for example, I also seen people saying, oh, first master say we'll divorce. But this guy said, no, I will not divorce. So when the wife go haywire, he just tahan on until now, they're still happily married. So things like that. So 八字 is just a form of information that tell you that year, this trouble is going to brew. In the end, it's up to yourself to control it. Things like that.
Right.
So 八字, yes, you can take it, you can see it as a form of reference, but of course, don't be too so-called hard up on it.
Okay. So maybe stepping back, is there a source of this knowledge? like a source of Chinese metaphysics?
There's no source.
There's so many schools, right?
Correct. There's many schools.
There's so many schools. Is there like one that started it and then later on branches out?
Okay. The main source how Feng Shui came about was actually from these two books. It's called He Tu and Luo Shu. These two came out with this book called I Ching. Then from I Ching branched out to all these other studies. Okay. Because for Feng Shui, it's all about the 8 trigrams.
Okay.
Bakwa.
But it must have been from this one person or two person.
The person who wrote this I Ching book was this guy called Fu Xi.
Okay.
Then what happened was Fu Xi was actually this I Ching, this book is about philosophical about the world. Everything has an element to it and how the world moves and how the world changes. It was until this guy called Zhou Wenwang, who was actually put in prison. He took this book and changed it into a form of so-called forecasting sort of book. Things like that. So that's how it started. Then from there, people came up with their own schools, all this, using it in their own interpretation. You know,
Feng Shui, as you know, has a good name and also has a bad name. Because when, you know, we in this age, we always talk about science. You know, talk about science and anything that is able, you know, you are able to put, able to verify. But, so that is what most people would think the science, you know, you are able to see it, look it, calculate it, you know.
So let me put it in another perspective.
Yeah.
When alchemy first came out, people think it's witchcraft.
Yes.
But due to the Western people, they like to share. So all this alchemy became research papers. And then it came out with studies and proven. But the issue for Chinese, being Chinese, they like to keep their secrets and they die, or they only pass to their family. Yes. Nobody wants to come up with a research paper and let the whole world see it's actually like that.
Yeah.
So in the end, Chinese, this Feng Shui, all this until now, it's still a form of superstition.
Yes, a form of superstition because people, the lack of knowing, understanding it, the knowledge of it, will make it like a superstitious thing.
Correct.
But actually, in fact, you know, from the origins or the books that they came up with, there are ways to calculate. These are all the things that I want to ask also.
Correct.
Anyway, you name all of these, like, you know, calculation, the system of it. Is actually, there is something like
there
that.
There is.
Right. It's just that, okay. So there is nobody actually go into a research on Feng Shui.
There are people who research, but there was no paper published.
Okay.
So that's the main issue.
Okay. So like you say, so, you know, so when it comes to Feng Shui, and the common topic is the universe, you know, energy in the universe, you know, manifestation, you know, having this thought in your mind, and then basically whatever you wish for will manifest. It's actually, it's like you say, planting a seed in us. And then there's also this thing about sound bath, energy. So are all of this, you know, alchemy, sound bath, Feng Shui, you know, all these comes from the universe. How would you draw a connection to all of this?
There is a connection. It's like, okay, how metaphysics is treated, right? It's actually considered into 5 categories. So the first category is mountain. Second category is physician or doctor.
Yes.
Third is divination.
Yes.
Fourth is 八字, life reading. And 5 is image. So image itself is actually about Feng Shui, your palmistry, your looks, all this. So this affects one part of the life.
This is the image.
Image.
Okay.
Or the Chinese call it 相.
相. Oh, okay.
Correct. 相. So your 面相, your Feng Shui, all these are all 相.
Okay.
Then next is your 命, which is life. It's more on things like for example, your astrology chart, your 八字, your 紫微斗数, all this. They are all form of life reading. Okay. Then after that, you have this divination. Divination is 卜. Okay. So for example,
卜卦.
卜卦, correct.
Okay.
So last you watch on TV, people put coins in the turtle shell, shake, come out, then they give you an answer. Or some go to the temple, they shake the sticks after when it comes out and give you an answer.
Oh, okay.
And other Western ways is through things like, for example, tarot cards. So what happened is this form of reading actually, there's a calculation behind, which means at this point of time, when you ask the question and you receive the divination or the card, right, it tells you about the current situation. It's actually all calculation. Okay, so this is for divination. And divination is also about your name, your numbers that we use, all these things that are with you to calculate. Then E is physician, just TCM lah, doctor, learning, all those guasha, tuina, all this meridian points, all this. Then and the first one is sun, which is mountain. Mountain is the one where all the energy comes in. So this one you have to do a lot of meditation to get yourself connected to the world. Because what happened is that through this, actually in our world there's about 7 or 8 dimensions. We are actually in the 3rd dimension.
7 to 8 dimension.
Yeah.
What kind of dimension?
So like for example, the 1 dimension is, for example, if you look at a piece of paper, flat, you only can move left and right.
Yes.
You flip the paper like that, you can move around the paper. Okay. 3rd dimension is 3D lah. So we're actually in the 3rd dimension world right now. Okay. So 4th dimension is where all the so-called the spirits, the guardians, all this, where people do meditation, they are able to manifest and so-called talk to their guardians or their guide or something like that, where a lot of people are going into it right now. So this is the part where you can start to understand why is there deja vu. So I believe you watch Avengers. Avengers will say that there's a multiverse, parallel universe.
Very fascinated with the multi-universe.
But actually what happened is, it's not parallel. It's actually one whole universe like that. Your past, your present, and your future is actually living right now. So why you get deja vu is, right, somehow or other, the future information is passed down to you accidentally through your dream or something. And you reach that place, I did this before.
Low-key, variant.
Yeah, like a variant, something like that. So it's actually moving concurrently.
Okay.
It's like that. So that's how meditation helps you tap into this source. But it's not scientifically proven yet. But it's actually proven in one TED Talk.
Quantum physics.
Yeah, it's proven in TED Talks.
TED Talks?
Yeah, there was one guy who said that we're actually not in control of our own actions. So I think it was a Harvard research where there was this doctor who get someone to wear something on the head and ask him, okay, to ask him to open, which door are you going to open? So 7 seconds before he opened the door, they got the answer already. So left door open. Right door open. Next second, okay, door open. So all the answers were 100% correct. So actually right now we are not in control of our own actions. We thought that we are in control of our own actions, actually we are not. But the only way you can start to control your own actions, according to what the meditation practice says, is when you reach the certain point where you can actually start to connect to this. Then you so-called like break free from the mundane world, things like that. I'm not explaining that, but it's all about what I read up upon and what I've seen what I've seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. There's a question I want to ask. For divination, right? Where you are, for tarot cards, or all this, how does that work? Like you simply like chose a card, you open up, you shuffle, and then you open up a card. How does that work? Like what?
It taps onto like the universe energy, actually, which is time. So at that point in time, you take that card. You ask the universe, I want to have an answer. You take that card. That card is actually the answer to your question. So I don't know how to explain it thoroughly, but it's using time. So all these tarot cards, divination, is all using formulas to use the current time and energy to get your answer. Okay. But the thing is, it also depends a lot on the practitioner who's actually interpreting your cards. So if that guy's so-called mastery level is low, you might not get the correct one, or he might interpret it wrongly. If the guy's level is very high, very in tune with all this, right, you'll get very, very accurate answers. Okay. For you, you solely use I Ching, right? Not solely use I Ching, but mainly I Ching is the foundation. Okay. So I do use my own style and I go through everything. I look at 八字, I look at numbers, I look at everything. Okay. I see everything in a total view, not just blindly looking at 八字. Okay. So it's an accumulation of experience, would you say? Accumulation of experience, yes. So if you give you a same 八字 which you have looked at when you started again versus now, I'll see more things. You see more things. Okay. Definitely. Okay. How is that so? So because you learn more about different schools. Learn more from different schools, correct. And then combining it. Correct. So if you, let's say if you let me see a 八字 back in 2008, probably just a bit. Now I see more because I'm still learning. Because I'm trying to learn any school, so I got like 12, 13, like many teachers never go and calculate, so just learn more. So from what I learn, I see what are my blind spots, then I can further improve. So like for example, when I first help someone do a reading, maybe half an hour. So now one reading takes about 2 hours because there's more and more things to say, more things that I can see.
So when you look for a teacher, how do you know that this is
I test
a
him
solid?
I test him first, so I go out for consultation first.
Okay.
So if fail the consultation, I will learn.
How would you know if it's something that you have not learned before?
Okay, just do a basic live reading for me.
Okay.
Yeah, there are a few in Singapore. They are like famous, but actually when I go for a reading, cannot.
Okay.
Yeah, so there was, I still remember there was one particular one, when she saw me, she said, look me in the eyes, open your palm, close, open your palm, close, okay. After that, this is your 八字. Your 八字 has a spinning top. Your whole life is poor. You are a very lecherous person, always trying to find many girls and date.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like, what? After that, okay, never mind, thank you.
Okay. So she was so-called a famous, like as you have heard lah.
Yeah, it's because my friend told me to go. I just go and try
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She had a shop in the shopping mall, closed down already lah.
Oh, okay.
After COVID, she closed down.
Okay. Would you say there are only a handful in Singapore of good practitioner, or you say there are actually a lot?
There are a lot of good ones.
There are a lot of good ones.
I would say that there are really, really a lot of good ones, but there are also a lot of lousy ones. I can say that it's all through marketing because marketing makes them look good.
Yes.
So let's say, for example, those who got invited into MediaCorp on TV. Yes. Sorry, I don't know if I get sued for this but when they go on TV, it's not MediaCorp invite them. It's a paid commercial,
right?
Where you have to pay to go on TV. So, but naturally, humans being humans, they saw someone on TV, the guy must be good.
Yes.
So that's how it works. That's why a lot of people think it's like that. Then the only thing, I mean, if you're not good, I'm fine.
Yes.
I mean, you do your best to help people. The only thing I do not like is when they charge you exorbitant amounts on products. $10,000 for a statue, $5,000 for a jade, things like that.
Yeah, I bought once before, like a few thousand for a horse, a liu li.
So what
can I do with it?
A liu li horse is just a horse. So
a flying horse.
Yeah, I mean, you can just, let's say, print a picture of a Pegasus. It will work the same way as the liu li itself.
Okay, it's just pretty lah.
Yeah, so that's why that brings back to the 5 schools. Xiang, the image. If the image is a horse, it's a horse.
Okay.
But of course, if you want to put a horse, you don't want to put a horse that's dying, sleeping. Yes. A strong horse, things like that would be good.
Yes. One thing I like about your solution is easy.
Yeah.
Is really like you can simply just put a writing or a drawing, as long as it looks like whatever is required.
Yes.
It works.
Then it will work, correct.
But you did mention that it has to be like the bigger the better.
Correct. So it's like when you're sick, you're supposed to take medication.
Yeah.
So the medication has to be so-called the dosage must be correct.
Yeah.
So typically for house, A4 size should be good size.
Minimum lah.
Minimum should be, for it to work well, should be A4 size.
Okay.
For, let's say, if you're on an office desk, maybe fist size is good enough. Right. Because your desk is just that small. But if let's say you're living in a mansion, then your stuff has to be like huge.